Good morning. Actually, hello. We're going to start by reading a book called Behold the Dragons. I wonder where dragons actually came from? How did people get ideas about dragons? Are they real? Are there really mythical creatures? Why do we have so many stories about them? We're going to read a book called Behold the Dragons by Gail Gibbons. Twisting and wiggling serpent dragons, evil fire-spitting dragons, kindly protective dragons that bring good luck. There are many kinds of dragons from all around the world. Have you ever seen one? Behold the Dragons by Gail Gibbons. A long time ago, people began telling stories about happenings in their world that they couldn't understand. When lightning crackled and thunder roared, a terrifying creature might be flying overhead, spewing fire and flapping its noisy wings. When an earthquake caused the earth to move, was a huge beast stomping by? An erupting volcano might be an angry monster spitting fire from its cave. When great ocean waves capsized ships and slammed into coastlines, surely there was a sea monster lurking within the water's dark depths. We didn't have science back then, and people really wondered what was causing all these natural disasters. Now we know that thunder and lightning, earthquakes, volcanoes, and stormy seas are natural events. Almost no one believes in dragons anymore, but the incredible stories about dragons remain. Oh, look at how someone drew that dragon. In almost every part of the world, people believed in dragons. Dragons are so much a part of human culture that some people called dracontologists study dragon lore today. They study dragon stories from all around the world. The word dragon comes from the Greek word drakon, meaning a huge snake with piercing eyesight. Many dracontologists think that belief in dragons was inspired by sightings of large snakes or serpents. Over time, dragons took on many distinct forms. Dracontologists classify them into 5 groups. They put them into 5 groups. Wonder what they are. One of them is called serpent dragons. The Leviathan, which was in the Hebrew Bible, the Lambton worm from England, or the Carthaginian ancient Rome serpent. Serpent dragons were said to be found in lakes, rivers, and oceans. These creatures had heads like those of reptiles, horns, and long jaws with the sharpest of teeth. They had no wings or legs, just long, slithering, snake-shaped bodies. Those are only like snake-shaped dragons. The next classification would be semi-dragons. Because these dragons were simpler in form than classical dragons, dracontologists called them semi or partly dragons. These fierce creatures usually had the body of a serpent and 2 legs that sported feet with long, sharp talons. Often, they had bat-like wings. Classical dragons were said to be ferocious, fire-spitting, reptilian-like creatures. In mythology, they were usually the enemies of valiant heroes. These beasts were covered in a scaly armor. They had taloned feet and long, powerful tails that often ended in an arrow-shaped stinger. So far we have serpent dragons, semi-dragons, classical dragons, classical medieval dragon from England. The medieval means about the Middle Ages, a time between 500 and 1500 AD. A myth is a traditional story that explains a belief or natural event. This one's called the Lindorm from Europe, and this one's the Wyvern from England. Then there's sky dragons. Semi-dragons that use their wings for flight were called sky dragons. They drifted and soared around the cloud-filled heavens. Some were even capable of flying without wings. Often they were believed to have magic powers or even to be gods. Here's the amphitheater from England and the dragon from China, or some other countries in Asia maybe. The neo-dragons is another classification. The basilisk from ancient Greece, the pallida from France, the cockatrice from England, or the tarrusc from France. Neo means to take on a new and different form. Neo-dragons looked somewhat like the other kinds of dragons, but they were made up of various animal parts. These terrifying creatures had many different forms. Look at how its tail curves around and overlaps. And look at how the top of the dragon, the sky dragon, curves and then twists. In Mesopotamia, 4,000 years ago, people explained the creation of the earth with a fierce story about a dragon. They said that in the beginning there was only Aspu, the spirit of fresh water and emptiness, and Tiamat, a female dragon. Aspu and Tiamat were mates. One of their children was Marduk, a powerful god. He fought against his mother and the monsters she had created for battle. In the end, Tiamat lost. Her body became the heavens and the earth, and the blood of the slain monsters was shaped into the human race. That's an interesting story. Just as we do today, ancient people love to hear stories about brave and daring heroes. In Greece, the greatest hero was Hercules, a son of Zeus, king of the gods. One of the most exciting stories about Hercules is how he fought the Hydra, a fierce, many-headed dragon with poisonous breath. This Hydra would leave its den to devour everything in its path. Many had tried to kill it, but all had failed. Hercules was enraged when he learned about the Hydra. Boldly, he set out to destroy this terrible creature. As they battled, one by one, the many heads of the Hydra fell to the ground. While the beast lay dying, Hercules dipped his arrows into the Hydra's blood, giving these weapons a magical strength for when he fought again. I think I heard with this story that when one of the heads was taken off, another one would grow back. But it doesn't say that here. Dragons were considered very important by the people of ancient China. For thousands of years, the symbol of the imperial throne was a dragon. Some people believed that dragons brought good luck, such as rain for farmers' crops. Other more fearsome dragons were said to bring death and disease. The most famous Chinese dragons were ferocious, bearded creatures that were capable of changing shape and size. They could be as tiny as the smallest silkworm or as large as the vast space of the heavens and the earth. Most were made up of distinctive animal parts, like a clam belly, demon eyes, camel head, cow ears, stag antlers, snake neck, eagle talons, tiger soles for the feet, carp, fish scales. In modern China, the bearded Chinese dragon is still a popular image. During the Chinese New Year parade, celebrants twist through the streets beneath a writhing dragon costume to keep evil spirits away in the new year. That looks like so much fun. Get that beautiful dragon. Okay. These are the medieval dragons. Then there's Quetzalcoatl, was the dragon god of the Aztecs, an ancient people in what is now Mexico. Most of the time, Quetzalcoatl was described as being part serpent and part quetzal, a spectacular feathered bird. He was believed to be the god of wind, wisdom, and life. In one of the ancient Aztec beliefs, Tezcatlipoca, the god of trickery and darkness, stole almost all of Quetzalcoatl's magical powers. So Quetzalcoatl sailed away, promising the Aztecs that he'd return more powerful than before. In 1519, when Spaniards arrived in the Gulf of Mexico, the Aztecs welcomed them. Perhaps they believed that Quetzalcoatl had come back at last. Instead, their nation was conquered by the Spanish in 2 years. Over time, the dragons have been a symbol of power, strength, and ferociousness. The early Egyptians painted images of dragons to guard and protect their great palaces and pyramids. In medieval times, serpent dragons made from the colorful cloth twirled in the wind as they were carried into battle. Dragon images adorned the shields of brave knights. The stories, myths, and legends of dragons have been woven into tapestries, painted on pottery, formed into jewelry, and carefully painted into books over the ages. What mysterious, unchangeable beasts they were. That one looks like Egyptian. Behold the dragons. The end.